And welcome back to a special Jeff Kinange live on the road in Washington, D.C. I tell you, we've come a long way from come, baby, come. Miguna Miguna, the man with the same name twice, is telling his story for the very first time. The second coming. And yes. I want to get through this so that we could fast forward to current events in Kenya. But the second coming was very important. So you planned now. You say, I'm coming back home.
Yes, after I came, I did a tour of North America, Europe. I went to the UK and then came back. By that time, I already obtained additional orders, particularly the order of February by Mweta, which directed them to issue me with a passport or travel document and facilitate my unconditional return and re-entry into Kenya at the time of my choosing. That is the way he crafted the order. And when I returned, they refused to allow me in, insisting that I had to use the Kenyan passport they had already taken, and that the court had already ordered that they return to me, that they had refused to return. Now they insist I have to come with a Kenyan passport or I have to enter as a foreigner. So I told them no, I was coming by operation of law. You know, there was a court order. Yeah. I'm a Kenyan. You took me against my will out of my home and to another country. So when the court nullified that removal. Yes. So you have to assume I'm back in Kenya.
So when the people are saying that Miguna refused to come in with his Kenyan passport.
No, with a Canadian passport. Those people are malicious. Because the reason why some of these people wanted me to come with a Canadian passport and not a Kenyan passport is, number one, to come under restricted rules.
Yeah, you can't work.
To come as a foreigner. I can't work.
Yes.
I can't be involved in politics. No. I can't own property. Yeah. I can't run for elections.
You're a foreigner.
I'm a foreigner. So essentially, they could have arrested me immediately I left the airport as I greeted the NRM people and taken me back. And there was nothing I could do. I would be invalidating the orders that I'd already obtained from the court that said I'm a Kenyan who never lost his citizenship.
So you refused to let them stamp the Canadian?
I refuse to have, because why would they stamp the Canadian? When you go to Kenya, Jeff, you are not asked for any other passport you may have. And you may have. But you go and present your Kenyan passport.
At immigration, yes.
That is what people do. When you go to US and you are a US citizen, you present the passport that was issued by the US government. When you go to any country, you must present, if you have status there,
yes,
you must present the passport of the country that you are going to.
Correct.
Not where you are coming from.
Correct.
There are many Kenyan dual citizens, for example. Makau Mutua. When he arrives in Kenya, does he present his US citizen, US passport? No.
So now they hold you at the airport?
They refuse to allow me in. They detain me there. And then they don't allow all my lawyers to come in, particularly the ones they believe know immigration law. So, for example, Waikwa Wanyoike, who had practiced immigration law in Canada, they didn't allow in. But they allowed Winnie Odinga, who is not a lawyer,
to come and see you.
To come and see me. You see the logic? There is no logic. The Kenya National Commission for Human Rights that had been ordered by court to facilitate my re-entry together with the Kenyan state, the chairwoman never showed up. Later on, she released some bad statement criticizing me instead of defending me pursuant to the court order. She's now tried to walk away from that, but she has not tried to enforce these court orders when I don't need a lawyer for this to be done. She could have just have done it as a commission.
All this time, are you talking to anybody? Are you talking to...
I've written to my lawyers, I've written to the commission, I've written to the Law Society. They have refused to help, even Amnesty International. None of these bodies are prepared to help enforce the order. And you guys shout, Miguna, come back, as if I removed myself from the country. So at the airport, you saw that they came and assaulted me in public view.
Yeah.
They assaulted members of the press. They tear gassed them. They took me physically, you know, pistol whip or pistol whipping me and pushing me with gun butts all the way to the to the aircraft.
And bundled
and then
you in.
Tried to force me into the plane.
Yeah.
And I refused to go in.
You said you weren't
They
boarding.
tore my clothes. They stole my money.
They tore your suit.
Yeah, and they stole 1,500 US dollars. Yeah, only when they put me in that toilet, I realized I didn't have the money that I had in my pocket. Yeah. So, and then they locked me up in a toilet for those days, 2 days, almost 3 days, with no shower. There was no place to take a shower.
Just a sink.
The water that is coming from the sink is steaming hot. They injected all over my body.
With syringes.
With syringes. And I describe it in detail for
Yes.
those who can buy the book.
Yes.
Page 343 to 344. That's where it is. Until I blacked out, I lost consciousness. When I regained consciousness, I was in a plane in Dubai. And they abandoned me there. I had to talk to one of the people, the United Arab Emirates officers that were there with me, to be able to get me an hotel room. The Kenyan authorities just left me there and went wherever they went. Yes.
In the end, Raila did come and try and get you out.
No, he couldn't. I mean, Raila did not come to get me out.
What did he come for?
When Winnie came, I asked Winnie why Raila is not here. And Winnie called Raila and told Raila that I'm complaining he's not there.
He was there with Jimmy Wanjigi.
And listen to this, listen to this. No, he was not there with Jimmy Wanjigi. So don't drag in Jimmy Wanjigi's name. Jimmy Wanjigi came later on as a show, did not even enter the place, and was making noise outside at the very last minute when I was being dragged, you know,
towards the plane.
Yeah, towards the plane. So I never even saw him. The point is this. When Raila came, Raila grabbed my hand and Raila started walking. I then walked with Raila as he continued to walk. When a policeman tried to block us, he pinched the policeman's ears. The policeman ran off. Raila continued walking up to the exit. When we reached the exit, they blocked the exit.
Are you telling me Miguna is that much of a threat to the system?
What do you think? They are scared, yes, because Jeff, the most lethal weapon a human being has is not a gun. Because a human being can make a gun. It's not money. Because a human being can make money. It's not a bomb. Because you can make a bomb. It's the brain, because you can't manufacture it. And you can't control somebody's brain. Because they cannot control my brain. Because they cannot bribe me. Because they cannot threaten and intimidate me into silence. Because they cannot stop me. And because I have an ability to communicate in a way they don't have. And the country seemed, at least at that time, I hope even now, to rally around the message because they trust my word. These people are scared.
Of you?
Yes.
And this handshake thing, is
well, the handshake is those make-believe things. You know, abracadabra, where you have a comedian say there is fire and there is no fire. Yeah. They tell you there is a rabbit somewhere, and when you check, there is no rabbit. This is it. You have been put as the titular head of the NRM, which the state is scared of. And you have a general the state is scared of, with his army, armed or unarmed, but there are many. You have People's Assembly mobilizing all the counties. And you say you disband that in exchange for what? Because nobody disbands an army, even if you have an armistice. You know, if an army is fighting and you are going into an agreement, like now the US wants to reach an agreement with North Korea. North Korea has not dissolved its army or disbanded it, nor has the Americans, just because they are discussing peace. When Mandela came out of jail after 27 years, he did not disband Umkhonto we Sizwe to negotiate with de Klerk. He kept his army. And when they agreed, his army took over the state. And he took over the state as the president. It was not the other way around. Raila has not taken over the state. NRM has not been armed so that we are a faction of the state. or any of the People's Assembly has been converted into a bureaucratic office or a ministry. All those people are just left outside for one man.
Okay, so now...
So that's why I'm telling you, it was unstructured, it is not done properly, it has no leverage, it is abracadabra.
And there's no bridges being built.
That one is just a sinecure for Raila's people to be appointed into boards and to be paid for doing nothing so that he can make people believe he's doing something which he's not doing.
So what happens now towards 2022, Miguna? Because now the talk in Kenya is all about politics. It's all about Ruto versus Raila.
I think you should be asking, what should we be doing? No, we don't belong to Ruto or Raila. You know, these people are not gods. They don't own anybody. Ruto is younger than you, probably.
Yes, he is.
Yes, and younger than me.
Yeah.
So why are you talking about him?
Because
was he born with anything you are not born with? You are a man like Ruto. You have a brain. You have everything that makes you a man. Is there anything else he has? Money, right?
Ruto is the front runner right now. I
don't know about front runners. What I know, Uhuru should go home. Raila must go home. Ruto must go home. We must have real, serious, visionary, ideologically committed people with integrity governing the state.
Are you aware we don't have an opposition in Kenya right now? Are you aware? You sitting in Toronto...
How can you say
wait a minute,
you don't have an opposition?
You sitting in Toronto are probably the official opposition leader.
So then you have an opposition. Because when ANC and Umkhonto Wezizwe were opposing apartheid, they were not in domicile in South Africa. They were in exile.
Yes.
And they were in exile for more than 30 years. Oliver Tambo was the president of the ANC in London. Did that change anything? The Bolsheviks, when they were fighting for the Russian Revolution in 1915, 1917, Lenin was not in Russia. Castro was not in Cuba before the Cuban Revolution. There is no struggle in the world where leaders have not been exiled or in jail or been put in jail. Anybody who is not jailed or exiled or persecuted is not a true leader, because the state identifies its enemies and marks them and does something to them. So how can these people claim to be leaders when the state is happy with them?
So you're saying
they are part of the state.
Are you saying everything that you're doing now will lead to something eventually?
It has to. It has to, my friend. You see, and I just want to give examples. I'm not comparing myself to anybody. I'm just giving examples. When Jesus was preaching, people dismissed him, isn't it?
Completely.
They even hanged him. And people say, you're gone, you're finished.
Yes.
So they were, and who has been worshipped the longest since he died?
More than 2,000 years.
People don't remember Caesar. So what I'm saying, the same thing. When Amin was alive, Amin was everywhere. When Mobutu was alive, he was everywhere. And who remembers them now? Not even in footnotes of books. So what I'm saying is that the philosophy, the ideology, the commitments, the integrity, the freedom struggle matters more. The truth matters more than power. Real raw power. Because it is the everlasting legacy. There are many Kenyans like me who have not been given the opportunity to shine, to thrive, to demonstrate what they are capable of. Because the state and those who formed it did not do it to liberate Africa or to provide services for Kenya.
Will Ruto be any better if he gets in?
I don't think Ruto can be any better. Nor can Raila be any better. Nor can Wetangula be any better. Nor can Kalonzo be any better. Nor would Mudavadi be any better. You see, if I had done something wrong, if I had committed crimes, then you could say you got what you deserve, right?
Yeah, but you swore in a president, the people's president, illegally.
No, then you take me to court. Are there not courts in Kenya to try me if I committed a crime? And my friend, I'm wishing that they could. I'm really praying that they would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then I would be able to demonstrate what I've not been able to demonstrate in a very dramatic way.
Okay. If someone was to ask you, Treason, your latest book.
Yes.
Summarize it for us real quick. Summarize it for us. What is it about? Because the picture on the front, if you see it, it's you swearing in the people's president.
Yes.
That's the photo.
Yes. And treason is what I was charged with. Was I not?
Yes, of course.
And the people who charge me are the tyrants. And the one standing next to me is a renegade. Is that not explaining?
That's it.
It explains the genesis of all this up to now. The mythical bridges to nowhere is just that. Like today, I read, interestingly, Raila saying that the budget must have a provision for the referendum. And he's saying that in Burma, where 18 of his youth were killed by Uhuru's police. He's not calling for justice or compensation for his supporters. He's not calling for electoral justice. He's not calling for food security or jobs for the youth or housing or water or agriculture or healthcare. Raila wants a referendum. You see? Another game. So that he could rebrand himself and bring another abracadabra. We must put this to an end.
If your passport was sent to you today, Miguna, would
Yes.
would you come back?
I told you I would be there on Friday. Do it, and you will see. You see, those saying, go to Ottawa and get the passport. Passports are printed in Nairobi, not Ottawa. Ottawa is under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, not Interior. The Immigration Department is in Interior. They print passports. And the ambassador is, as we were talking, just a few minutes ago, the position is less than that of a director. They don't make decisions. So if they courier the passport to the embassy, I will pick it up.
But you, Miguna, don't you fear coming back? Don't you fear?
No, because I don't fear death.
You don't?
Jeff, unlike you, I don't fear death. What are you fearing? Jeff, you are over 50. You have a child. You have a beautiful wife. You have made a mark. If you die today, people will know what your life was. What are you afraid of? We are going to die one day. Die for something meaningful. Die for a cause. Right?
Yeah.
So, of course, if I die for a cause, I would be very proud of myself. Like Chris Hani, like Tom Boyer, like Martin Luther King, like
Gandhi.
Like Malcolm X. No, Gandhi was not assassinated, was he?
Yes, he was.
He was.
The Mahatma, remember?
Yeah,
remember?
he was. Yes. Yes.
Bottom line, Miguna.
Mahatma.
Yeah. Or was it Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi?
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
MK.
yes, right. Anyway.
Yes. The bottom line, Miguna.
Yes.
Kenya moving forward. Because right now we are stuck in a rut of corruption, mega scandal after scandal after scandal.
It is very necessary to say that there are despots in Kenya. They are organized cabals. And these people have a network, and we know who they are. They need to be decapitated. I don't mean physically, politically. We have to be able to remove them from power. Free the state from their strangulation. Transform the state, not reform it. Reform does not work because it is a band-aid. You must uproot the people who have captured the state. The intelligence, financial, and criminal gangs who now wear suits and occupy public office. Once you do that, you will be able to steer the state to the direction where services are provided to the people and a state answerable to the people. Not fake staged arrests in Nairobi that leads to nowhere. Yeah. You've seen how they are trying to, every system tries to create heroes through staged arrests. But the consequences of that arrest is what you need to analyze to know they are staged. These people are always released on police bonds. Police bond. They never face charges. The prosecution never ends. And nothing happens to them.
This man just keeps on fighting. Yes, and he doesn't discriminate against who he goes for. He does it without fear or favor.
I only go for cartels.
Cartels! Miguna, folks, on Jeff Koinange, live on the road in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. This has been an exclusive Jeff Koinange Live, powered by Standard Chartered. priority banking. Thanks so much for being a part of this show. Next week, new guests, new theme. But I tell you, this one, I know you're going to be talking about for a long, long time. Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya. The hashtag, as always, is JKLive. Thanks so much for watching. Good night, good luck, and God bless our nation of Kenya.
Thank you.
Miguna Miguna.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.